Hi, everyone. I don't know if you've been watching the news, but it has been filled with stories of a bear who has been traipsing through many of our towns. Right now, it's said that he's in Marshfield, where I live. Well, it makes me think of a wonderful story that happened, a true story that happened about 10 years ago in 2012. And this is the story of the Cape Cod Bear. I grew up in Sandwich, which is a town on Cape Cod, and is one of the many places that this bear visited when he took his vacation to Cape Cod. I am so excited to share this story. I hope you enjoy it. The Cape Cod Bear by Kathleen Reddy Diane and Kate Walls. Fixed. Barney, a young black bear, lived in the deep woods with his mother, but he knew that soon he would have to have his own family. His mom had told him so. One spring night, while out exploring, he stopped for a drink of water, and a mischievous raccoon dared him to swim across the river. Bears are good swimmers, but this river was far too strong. It swept Barney away from his home in the woods to a place no bear had ever been. He walked for days looking for tree markings made by other bears, but he found none. All the animals he met told him they had never seen a black bear. "You're lost," said the fish in Plymouth Harbor. Barney didn't want to be a lost bear. In the harbor was a replica of a ship that had brought the pilgrims to America. Barney felt like they must have felt lonely and scared of his new surroundings. The next night, he entered a neighborhood and noticed a sign with human markings on it. Did the sign mean wildlife welcome or no bears allowed? It was only May, so there were no berries yet to eat, but he found crackers under a swing set and half a banana near a trash can. He was eating seed from a bird seeder when the homeowner turned on a light. Barney scampered up a tree. Word spread quickly. A bear was in the neighborhood. Once the curious people went to bed, Barney climbed down the tree. He walked all night until he reached the Cape Cod Canal. There was a traffic jam on the Sagamore Bridge that stretched across it. "Where's everyone going?" he asked the large white birds flying over him. "To Cape Cod! Everyone vacations there!" The birds sang out like a chorus. Barney wanted to have a Cape Cod vacation too. Like humans and the white bird with loud voices, he dove into the canal and swam across. And he was on Cape Cod. Early the next morning, he followed a path to the Sandwich boardmark. There were markings on the wooden planks under his paws. When bears left markings, it was to send messages to other bears, for instance, to let them know it was a good place to find food. And that was it. Right underneath him, fish were swimming. How nice of the humans to let him know. Barney leaped off the boardwalk and into the seawater. The next day, he entered a long pasture wildlife center in Barnstable and liked it so much that he spent many days there. He swam in the cold marsh water, ate salty fish, and watched the humans go by in their little boats. Although he never knew it, that was how he acquired his humble name, Barney, because he lingered so long in Barnstable. It was dawn when Barney arrived at Taylor Bray Farm in Yarmouthport, and right away he noticed two unusual animals watching him. They were Fiona and Scotty, Scottish Highland cows. They'd never seen a bear before. "Ah-roo! Ah-roo! Ah-roo!" they bellowed. Barney stood on his back legs so they could see how big he was, but they were bigger than him. The ground shook beneath his feet as they galloped towards him. Barney ran. He ran over the town line through a wooded area and into Dennis. He ran until suddenly stopped short in front of the Cape Cod Museum of Art and nearly landed in a very small pond. It had a lovely fairy house in it. Barney peered into the pool, and to his delight, he saw another bear. Another bear! Cautiously, he edged his muzzle towards it. Barney's nose touched the cold water, and he realized that the bear was only his reflection. He was still alone. The next night, he crossed into Brewster, where he peeked in the windows of the Cape Cod Museum of Natural History and saw motionless birds and fish swimming in glass cases. What a vacation he was having! In Drummerboy Park, he slept next to the old Higgins Farm windmill. When he awakened, he found the Storybook herring run where he caught his breakfast. He arrived in Orleans late at night and found his way to Priscilla Landing at the Cape Cod's National Seashore. At sunrise, he watched the sky turn colors on Nauset Beach. Then Barney waded in the waves with the seabirds. He tried to catch them, but they were much too fast. That night, he saw the Nauset light shining like a star high on a cliff and walked in its directions onto Nauset Light Beach in Eastham. On Marconi Beach in Wellfleet, Barney spotted a dog with his human. He made a clacking sound with his teeth to scare him off, but the dog was very brave. He chased Barney all the way to the top of a very tall staircase, through some trees and across the highway. Finally, the chase ended and Barney found himself at the Truro Vineyards of Cape Cod. There were many rows of plants, but it was too early in the season for the fruit to be ripe. Barney made a meal of grape leaves instead. He was sound asleep in the sand dunes of Provincetown when one of the loud white birds awakened him. Barney followed it to Macmillan Pier, where the biggest creature he had ever seen was blowing mist out the top of its head. "How surprising to meet a little black bear in Provincetown," the whale said. "I'm not so very little," Barney replies. "My mom says I'll find a mate soon." "Go home, little bear. You won't find a mate on Cape Cod," the whale advised. Barney was lonely for the company of other bears, so he took the whale's advice. He began the trek back following his own paw prints and tree markings. Cars zoomed past him at frightening speeds. He wished he could tell the humans, "Slow down, look around, feel the grass with your paws, and taste the salty sea air." Near Gull Pond in Wellfleet, he was homesick as he fell asleep in a tree. When he awakened, Barney was deep in the woods of Western Mass, and right away he knew he was home. The Cape Cod Bear, that later became known as Barney, was first spotted in Middleborough in May of 2012 and was next seen in the ponds of Plymouth neighborhood in Plymouth. Shortly thereafter, sightings were reported all the way down Route 6A on Cape Cod to the point at Provincetown. He was ultimately tranquilized on June 11, 2012 in Wellfleet and was set free in the woods of western Massachusetts. Later the same month, he was found and tranquilized once again in Brooklyn before being returned to the woods a second time. What was once a lost bear is now a famous bear. Everyone on Cape Cod knows of Barney. He even has his own Facebook page, Twitter account, and website. You can find Barney at www.capecodbearbook.com. Visit us on Facebook, Cape Cod Bear Book. And there's the map there. He came all the way to Cape Cod. And that is the end of the story of Barney the Bear. Hope you enjoyed that story. I was so excited to see that he stopped at the Sandwich Boardwalk, one of my favorite places. And the markings he was talking about on the boardwalk are names and messages, and you might even find my name on one of those planks too. Well, I hope you enjoyed this book, and I hope that we hear more about the bear that's wandering around our area right now.